Hello grade ones, thank you for joining me today. My name is Robin and today in numeracy we are going to be learning about time. So let's have a look. All about time. Here are some important things to know when telling the time. The first thing that we need to know grade ones is that there are 60 seconds in a minute. The second thing that we need to know is that there are 60 minutes in an hour. The third thing that we need to know is that the long hand on the clock shows the minutes. And the last thing that we need to know is that the short hand on the clock shows the hour. We are going to talk about this some more. But before we do, I want you to remember that telling the time is an important skill that we need to learn, and it's helpful as we grow older and older. So let's have a look. Let's look at the clock. What is the time? So we had said that the long blue hand shows us the minutes. So if we have a look at the clock, we can see that this long blue hand over here is showing us the minutes. This means that when we look at a clock, we count the minutes in fives, but we will talk about that a bit later. Let's look at the other hand. The short orange hand shows us the hour. So if we have a look at our clock, we can see that the short orange hand is pointing to number 4, and this shows us the hour on the clock. When we look at the hour on the clock, we count the hours in ones. And the direction that the clock moves is called clockwise. Now let's look at the clock. Look at the numbers on the outside of the clock to show the minutes. So remember, I had said that the long blue hand shows us the minutes, and when we talk about minutes, grade ones, we count minutes in fives. So let's have a look at how we count it in fives. If we have a look at number 1 on the clock, we can see that outside of it we have 5. This is because if we start at the clock over here, we can count 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Again, we can see if we go to number 2 on the clock, if the blue hand is pointing to number 2, we know that it is going to be 10 minutes. Because if we count each dot on the clock, if we go from 5, this will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So instead of us counting each minute on the clock, grade ones, that will take forever. So that is why when we talk about minutes on the clock, we are going to count in fives. So something important to remember here is for us to try and practice our 5 times table, as this will help us to count the minutes on the clock. Let's keep looking at the different minutes on the clock. So if we get to number 3 on the clock, we know that this is now going to be 15 minutes. So you can see from 10, we added another 5 minutes. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If we add another 5 minutes and we get to number 4 on the clock, this means we're at 20 minutes. If our long blue hand is pointing then to number 5 on our clock, this means we are at 25 minutes. If the long blue hand points to number 6 on our clock, we say that it is 30 minutes. If it points to number 7, we can say that it is 35 minutes. If it points to number 8, it is 40 minutes. If it points to number 9, it means 45 minutes. If it points to number 10, it is 50 minutes. If it points to number 11, it is 55 minutes. And when it gets to 12, this means that it is the start of a new hour, or we like to call it o'clock. So let's have a look at what this means. When we talk about telling the time, our clock can be divided into 4 parts. So we can divide our clock into 4 equal parts. And each part, grade 1s, is called a quarter. So this is going to help us when we are telling the time. This part over here is a quarter. This is another quarter. Here is one more quarter, and there is the last quarter. So can you see that each quarter is the same as 4 parts? Now let's read about telling the time. So again, I'm just going to leave our 4 quarters there. And now let's have a look at what they're saying. When the long hand, which is the long hand, grade 1s? Yes, very good. It is our minute hand. So when the long hand is on 12, we say o'clock. So this means when the long blue hand is on 12, like it is over here, we are going to say o'clock. That means it is the start of a new hour. So anytime the long blue hand or your minute hand is on 12, we are going to say o'clock. Now let's look at the next one. When the long hand, again, we know the long hand is now the minute hand. When it is on 6, we say half past. So this means when the long blue hand is pointing to number 6 over here, we are going to say half past. And how do we know this? This means that the long blue hand has gone all the way from the 12 down to number 6. And if we color this in, we can see that half of the circle is gone. And that is why we say half past. Now let's look at the next one. When the long hand, again, the long hand is our minute hand. When it is pointing to 3 on the clock, we say quarter past. So that means now the hand goes from 12 all the way to number 3 and stops here. And we can see if we color this in, we only have 1 quarter gone. So that means it is quarter past. And remember, grade 1s, when the hand is also on number 3, what minute does this represent? Yes, very good. It represents 15 minutes. And the last thing that we can remember is when the long hand, again, our minute hand, is on the 9, we say quarter to. So this means now the minute hand has started at number 12 and it's gone all the way around to number 9, and it stops over here. And when it stops at number 9, we can see that 1, 2, 3 quarters are now gone, and there is only 1 quarter left. So that is why we say quarter to. And do you remember what minutes it's going to be when the minute hand is on 9? Yes, very good. It is going to be 45 minutes. So these are important words we need to remember, grade 1s, when telling the time. They are o'clock. So that means when the long hand is pointing to 12, the long hand is our minute hand. The next one is half past. This is when the minute hand is pointing to number 6 on the clock. When the long hand or the minute hand is pointing to number 3, we say quarter past. And when it is pointing to number 9 on the clock, we say 2:15. Now that we have learned this, grade 1s, let's practice together. What is the times on these clocks? The first one has been done for us. If we look at the example, grade 1s, we can see that the hour hand, which is the orange one, is pointing to 4. And the minute hand, which is the blue hand, is pointing to 12. And we just learned when the minute hand is pointing to 12, we are going to say o'clock. So an important thing for us to remember, grade 1s, is when we are telling the time, we are first going to start with the hour hand. So let's look at number 2. If we look at the orange hand, which is our hour hand, the short one, where is it pointing? Yes, very good. It is pointing to number 2. So that means the hour is 2. And where is our minute hand pointing? The long hand. Very good. It is pointing to number 12. And what do we know now when the minute hand points to number 12? What do we need to write? We need to write o'clock. So the time is 2 o'clock. Very good, grade 1s. Let's practice number 3 together. If we look at number 3, where is the hour hand pointing? This is the short orange one. Nice. It is pointing to number 9 on our clock. So our hour is 9. And where is our minute hand pointing? The long blue one. Very good. It is pointing to number 12. So this means it is o'clock. And if we say the time together, we can see that it is 9 o'clock. Well done, grade 1s. Let's look at number 4. This one looks a bit different, so let's try it together. Where is the hour hand pointing? That is the short orange one. Good. It is pointing to number 3. So we can see that the hour is 3. And where is our minute hand pointing? Very good. It is pointing to 6. And what words do we use when it's pointing to 6? We can see that the minute hand started here at 12 and it's gone all the way around and stopped at number 6. So we can see half of the clock or half of the minutes of the hour is gone. So we are going to say what, grade 1s? Very good. We can say that it is 3:30. So we are going to put the 3 now at the end. So we write 3:30. And let's do one more together. Our hour hand is pointing to which one on number 5? Yes, it's pointing to the 11th hour. And then our minute hand is pointing to which number? Very good. Number 6 again. So we know that it is the minute 3:30. So we are going to say that half of the hour is gone. So we say 3:30. And our hour is pointing to 11. Very good work, grade 1. So again, today we learned that the long hand shows us the minutes and the short hand shows us the hours. We count the hours in 1s and we count the minutes in 5s. So remember, grade 1s, to keep practicing your 5 times table. We also learned about 1/2 past, 1/4 to, 1/4 past, and o'clock. Remember to keep practicing at home, and thank you very much for joining me today. Goodbye.